Hey guys, welcome back again to my channel. Today we'll be making a crop shirt with this fabric. If that's something you're interested in, hit on the subscribe button and let's get started. Girl, you always solve problems. So the first thing to do now is just to open up the fabric like this, just the way you see me doing, and then you check for the wrong and the right side. Here on the wrong side, I will just make mark on it in order for you not to make mistake while sewing. Once you're done with that, you just fold it into two again, just the way you see me doing like this, and then you just have to arrange it very well. And then I leave some inches of about 1.5 for the zipper. So now for my length, I want the crop shirt to be 70 inches when I'm done. So I'll be using 80 inches to cut it out. The 1 inch is for the sewing allowance. I will just mark it all the way on the fabric and then use my ruler to connect the mark together. Then use my scissors to cut it out. So now for the neck measurement, I'll be going by 3.5 inches here on the neck width, and I will just mark it out. And on the length, I'll be using 5 inches. I will just mark it out as well, and then use my curve ruler to make a curve round. So now for this back side, from that point I will just mark 3.5 inches in order for the shoulders to be equal. That's exactly what I mark for the front part. And on the length, I will measure 1.5. I will use my curve ruler to connect it together. So for the shoulder here, I'll be using 15 inches, but because this is already in a fold, I'll be going by 7.5 inches. I will just mark at 8 inches instead. The ½ inch is for the sewing allowance. And for my bust here, I'll be using 32 inches, but because this is going to be a free shirt, so I will add 2 extra inches to it, and then also add 2 extra inches for the sewing allowance. For the armhole, I will just mark at 7 inches for the long length and then use my curve ruler to curve it. So going down on the shirt, I will go by reducing 1 inch from the sides. Once I'm done with that, I'll just use my scissors now and then cut it out all the way around on the places where I've marked. Now I'll just fold this extra ½ inch on the back side and make notches on it for the zipper allowance. So now that I'm done with that, I'll just place it aside. I'll just cut out this piece from this fabric, and then I'll bring the front part of the neck and placing it on it, I will use it to cover to also cut out around the neck as well, and then trim out about 2 inches for the turning of the neck. And also I will still cut another piece for the back turner as well. I will mark the wrong side and then bringing the back turner, I will just place it on it like this and then use it to also cut out the turning for this back side. So now this other fabric here is for the sleeve. I will just have to mark out the wrong side and then fold it into 2 equal parts, just the way you see me doing, before dividing it into 2 separate pieces. So now that I'm done with that, I will just have to fold it into two like this, making it 4 pieces altogether. And then for the hand round, I will just fold it in like this and then use my pin to pin it down. And then I will just have to mark out my hand round is 14, so I'll be using 7 inches. I will just have to add 1 extra inch for the sewing allowance, and the length should be, I want it to be 9 inches, so I will just mark it out. And for the armpit, I'll just mark out 5 inch and then use my curve ruler to make a curve down and then trim it out. So now this is it, and that's that for the hand. I will just place it aside and bring in the toner. This is the front toner, so I will just fold it in like this and then take it to the sewing machine to sew. And for the back as well, I will also bring it and then fold it in like this and then also take it to the sewing machine to sew. This is how it's looking after I was done sewing it round. So I will just have to bring the front piece of the shirt and then I'll just check for the wrong side. That's the wrong side now, so I will just have to place the toner on the shirt right sides facing each other and then use my pin to pin it down before taking it to the sewing machine to sew. So this is how it came out after I was done. I will just make notches on it right now and then take it back to the sewing machine to top stitch it on the toner. So now this is it after I was done. I've already ironed it out and this is how it's looking. I'll just place it aside now. And bringing the back part, I will also look out for the wrong side and then mark it out. So this is the essence of the notches. So I will just, in order for me to locate the side, so I'll just place this one now right here and then use my pin to pin it before taking it to the sewing machine to sew round. Now that I'm done with that, I'll just remove the pins and then also make notches on it and take it back to the sewing machine to stitch it on the toner. And I will just have to stop on this place right here where you see me pointing at. So now this is it. I will just turn it over to the right side now, just the way you see me doing, and then take it to iron it down. So these are the two parts of the back. I'm done with it. I will just have to join them together like you see me doing, and then I will mark for my zipper length is 7 inches, so I will just mark it and then from that 7 inches to down I will just have to use my sewing machine to sew it down. That's after I've already marked out this 1.5 inches for the sewing. So I'm done sewing the back together, you can see, and this is how it looks. I will just break the zipper now and placing it on it, I will just take it to the sewing machine to sew. So now this is how it came out after I was done sewing it. You can see how it's looking. So now that I'm done with that, I will just have to break the front piece of this shirt and then I will place it together, make sure I arrange it on it very well, and taking the front toner, I will use this front toner to turn over the back shoulder line like this, and then I will use my pin to pin it and then take it to the sewing machine to sew. I will also do the same thing to the other side. This is how they look now that I'm done. I'll just flip it over now and turn it out just the way you see me doing. So you can see how the neck came out. Now back to the sleeve. I will just check for the wrong sides. So this right here is the wrong side, so I will just fold it into the wrong side and use my pin to pin it before taking it to the sewing machine to fold this edge in. I will also do the same to the other one. This is how they came out now that I'm done. You can see how it's looking. This is how it came out. I've already ironed it out. I will just place it aside. And bringing the shirt itself, I will just open up the armhole and place one arm on this side and then use my pin to pin it before taking it to the sewing machine to sew. I will do the same to the other one. So now this is how it came out now that I'm done. I'll just have to flip it over now, and then for the bust I'll be using 34 and for the down part I'll be using 32 inches. So that is what I will just use to sew it round. So now this is how it came out after I was finally done. Now I've already ironed it out and this is how it's looking. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.